Be genuine. It can be exhausting. It is time wasting when you're trying to please people, when you're trying to find yourself in a situation where you want to be all perfect. The world in itself is not perfect. So why do you want to be perfect? Why? I'm not saying do not make efforts to improve on things that you could improve on, but there are some things that are just that way and cannot be changed. They cannot be changed. They cannot. So stop hiding those, stop being ashamed of those flaws. Stop being ashamed of them and come out as, this is me. It's either you like it or you don't like it. Lots of individuals have the impression that you have to be perfect to be liked. Individuals hide their flaws, they are embarrassed, they are ashamed of their imperfections, and they have the fear that they will be judged, they won't be liked, people would laugh at them because of their imperfections. However, owning up to your imperfections and your flaws, it is part of you, it's part of life. We tend to make mistakes. No one is perfect. No one is perfect. However, we are faced with what the society throws at us. And I am here today talking about this because I have been there, and I am not perfect because it's still a learning curve for me. Once upon a time, someone said to me that I looked older than my husband, and I tried as much as I can to be, or as I could, to be accepted. Apparently, I went ahead and bought this book, because I was more concerned with what people thought, how people perceived me, and I didn't accept myself for who I was, sadly. The book is a very good book, very good book. But I bought the book for the wrong reasons, because I thought I looked old. I thought I looked old. And thanks to the person who has asked me to talk about this, on accepting yourself and your imperfections. It took me a long time. It took me a long time to understand that people's opinion about you, or your flaws, or your imperfections do not define who you are, does not define where you would be, or does not make you complete, does not determine if you would be happy. In this episode, I'll be talking about accepting yourself, accepting your flaws, your imperfection, and thinking about yourself. Yeah, if this is the first time you're joining us, thank you for joining us. This is the Bola Adeyeye Omishade Show. This is a community where we support people to be the best version of yourself. And yes, this is what this episode is about. Being the best version of yourself, communicating your message, finding your voice. And to our returning viewers, thank you. And to those that are just joining us, if you haven't subscribed, please do not forget to subscribe and click on the like button. And yes, thanks for joining this community. We're here to support you to be a better and a complete version of yourself. Right, so back to what I was saying. The society actually presents a lot to us. We have family, friends, that might, for one reason or the other, laugh at us, judge us because of maybe the way we look, because of the way we talk, or maybe because of the way we act. But have you ever thought that there is no perfect person? There is no perfect person. And on that note, you have to learn to accept your flaws and appreciate the way you look, appreciate the way you talk, appreciate your limitations, appreciate your limitations. I remember I didn't realize how much I wanted to be accepted, how much effort I put in wanting people to like me. Yes. It can be draining. It can be draining for you to be in a position where people play around with you like a toy. It is exhausting. It is exhausting. You spend so much time working on hiding your flaws, even when you don't even have a flaw, or you don't have things that are that bad. We spend so much time trying to hide them as opposed to celebrating our strengths, as opposed to celebrating ourselves. And sometimes in the process of trying to get accepted or trying to hide our fear, we tend not to, we waste a lot of time. And we don't even achieve those things. Hence, we get pushed from the right to the left, from the right to the left. I remember, I was going to say that. I remember there was just after I had my daughter, and of course, I was always wanting people's opinion of how I looked, of how I dressed, and I was going to go for a dinner party, and because somebody had said that my tummy looked big, of course I just had a baby, but then I was worried. And then I bought this corset, and I wore the corset and wore my dress, and I felt so uncomfortable. I felt I didn't really like the way I looked. Because somebody had judged, because somebody had passed a comment of what they feel or what they felt about me, I started seeing myself that way. But that's the very wrong way to look at yourself. It's okay for people to have their opinion. And it's okay, even if their opinion is right. It's okay for you to have imperfections, And there are a couple of reasons why I'm saying this. Because firstly, if you have imperfections and you're truthful about your imperfections, it gives you an opportunity to empower people. And that is why I'm here today. It gives you an opportunity for people to see that this person is imperfect and they're ready to actually express themselves so that you can learn from their imperfections, so that you can say, okay, this is who they are. And then they can freely confide in you. They can freely express themselves to you. You can empower them. You can empower them. People will feel very confident and they would trust you. They would trust you. It is not easy. Trust me, I have been there. And like I said, it's still a learning curve for me. It is a learning process. It's not easy to say that I want to accept my flaws. But then you need to start seeing yourself and presenting yourself in a way where you're doing what makes you happy and celebrating yourself. Now, in most cases, we try to present ourselves the way we want people to see us, the way we want to be seen. But that's not the right way. You have to actually think of what makes you happy. Celebrate those things that are not very good about you, or those things that are not perfect. In the process, you would learn. You will learn to be a better person. You would empower people. You will change your mindset. And another thing I'll try to say is, you have to also look at the environment in which you find yourself, because that is, it has a lot of impact on you accepting your imperfections. Because if you do not surround yourself with people that will accept you for who you are, that would accept your flaws, that would accept those limitations about you, then you're finding yourself in more problem. You know, in the process of me trying to, I thought it was making myself happy. I found myself amongst a couple of friends that I wouldn't say they had their own perception about me, you know. And what happened eventually was, I only complicated how I felt. I thought I was trying to resolve my problem. I thought I was trying to find the right community, but it only made it worse. And one of them was saying to me that, well, I knew that what happened at that time was not right, but I already had my initial opinion about you, you know. So at that time, I felt that it was the community. I was in a community of people that we did not share the same values, you know. I was in a community of people who already judged me before they actually knew who I was, and then they had their perception of me. So what am I trying to say in essence is, I didn't even know, to be honest, I didn't even know what the problem was. I wasn't really sure, you know, but they felt I had some flaws which I did not see, and that became more problem for me. So carefully think of the environment where you find yourself. You want to find yourself in a place where you will be celebrated. You want to find yourself in a place where people will love you for who you are. And remember, I say, limit and try to avoid you wanting people to accept you, you wanting people to love you or to like you, because truthfully, people will like you if they want to. People will like you with your flaws. It does not matter. It does not reduce your value. It does not reduce your worth. So, embracing your flaws will only encourage others to do the same, and it would only help build a culture of love, self-love, and acceptance. People will be confident to share their flaws as well. And, you know, there will be love and acceptance going around. People, to be honest, you become more trustworthy and relatable. People will be more confident relating to you or relating with you if you accept your flaws. And if you want to become fearless in future, you need not be afraid of yourself. You need to accept yourself for who you are, for you to have a fearless future. for you to have a fearless future. Accept your limitations, and then people will embrace those imperfections about you. You would lose opportunities if you hide some of your imperfections. You would lose opportunities for relationships. I remember when my husband started coming to, when he was coming to my house, and when I came back from school, because of course my husband was my brother's best friend, or they're still friends anyway, and I would run and my brother would carry me, and initially he felt, why does she behave like this, you know? But then afterwards, if I didn't do that, he became very uncomfortable. He felt something was missing, you know? So initially he saw it as, what's this? But afterwards, it was something that he couldn't do without. If I was coming and my brother had not carried me and, you know, celebrate me, he felt something was missing. So you need to be able to feel comfortable showing your imperfections to people who you want to be in relationship with, because if the relationship is genuine, they would accept you with your imperfections and your flaws. And of course, they would see you, the person who is going to be in relationship with you will see you as genuine. They see you as genuine. They see you as relatable. So as much as you can, you know, do not hide your imperfections. Accept yourself for who you are. It is hard. Trust me, I have been there. I know that it is hard. But unfortunately, if you do not accept yourself, no one will accept you. If you do not accept your flaws, no one would accept your flaws, you know? And bear in mind that by accepting your limitations, accepting your imperfections, will help others as well. As I mentioned earlier, will empower others, will encourage others to embrace their own limitations. They feel confident to confide in you. And you'll be shocked that you find people who are actually going through the same thing, who would want to share what they are going through with you. You'll be shocked. So change the way you define yourself. Do not always present to people what you want them to see. Be real, be natural, be yourself. Be yourself. You know, do not dress because you want to please people. You want people to accept you. You don't want people to laugh at you. Wear something that you feel comfortable in. You know, talk the way you feel comfortable. You know, if you're not comfortable speaking in one way or the other, why? If people would accept you with the way you talk, they will. They will. Be genuine. It can be exhausting. It is time wasting when you're trying to please people, when you're trying to find yourself in a situation where you want to be all perfect. The world in itself is not perfect. So why do you want to be perfect? Why? I'm not saying do not make efforts to improve on things that you could improve on, but there are some things that are just that way and cannot be changed. They cannot be changed. They cannot. So stop hiding those, stop being ashamed of those flaws. Stop being ashamed of them and come out as, this is me. It's either you like it or you don't like it. because you would end up making yourself unhappy. You end up being in a situation where you are exhausting yourself in trying to, I don't want this person to see this today. I don't want this person to see this today. It's total waste of time. Total waste of time. Now, if you're there, you're trying to be the best version of yourself, the first thing is to start with accepting yourself for who you are. Whatever people think about you does not change your worth, does not change your value. You need to understand this. It does not change your value. And change your perception of trying to want people to see you in one way or the other. Be genuine, and then you become more relatable because they already know that this is you and you're not trying to be a fake person. You are you. If this is you, you need to change something today. You need to be a better version of yourself so that those your talents, those your skills, those your strengths, those your gifts that needs to be shared with people will be given out. You'd empower people and you'll be a blessing that you want to be, as well as a better version of yourself. If you have found this very useful, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. Share this with your family, with your friend, or with anyone that you value, that you want to be a better person and you want them to accept themselves for who they are, accept their flaws, accept their imperfections. And thank you for watching this. Thanks for joining me today. I would see you next week. And this is Bola Adeyeye Omishade. Bye.